Good morning, and hopefully you can hear me, and we are coming through loud and clear. So lovely to have you with me this morning. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and I like to come on twice a week if I can and share some crafting with you. So that's what we're going to be doing this morning. So let me just bring up some of these, share some of these slides. So this is who I am. So this is where you can find me, where you can find my website, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and over on my website you will find lots of lovely things. You'll find inspiration, you'll find links to classes, you'll find tutorials that you can buy, you can download, all sorts of lovely things over on my website. So do go and check that out. We are obviously creeping up towards June. Morning, Lisa. Hope you can hear me okay this morning. We are creeping up towards June. We are already coming up halfway through April. Well, not quite, but into our end of the first week of April. It won't be long before it's here. So if you would like to join me either for my in-person all-day retreat or the retreat in a box, get it through the post, then do come and join me. That would be lovely to see you. We have got a new catalogue on its way. I have now got 2 catalogues in the house, and notification this morning, Elaine, notification this morning that my box of catalogues is on its way. So that should be with me by hopefully before Easter. So if you are here in the UK and would like a catalogue, don't think you're going to get one and you would like one, then do reach out to me. Either send me a message, or you can go to my website, go to www.loveaduckie.co.uk/request-a-catalogue, or if you go onto the contact tab on my website, you will find a request a catalogue, and you can pop your details in there, and I will make sure that you get a copy of this beautiful new annual catalogue that is launching to customers at the beginning of May. You're not going to want to miss it. And if you cannot possibly hang on until beginning of May to get your hands on some of those beautiful pre-order goodies, then why not consider joining the family? And if you join the Stampin' Up family before the end of May, you get, as always, to choose £130 worth of product of your choice for just £99. But that £130 worth of product can include anything that is on our pre-order list, and obviously it's in stock and things. So yeah, if you want to get your hands on some stuff now and you can't wait, then yeah, consider joining the family. Always the biggest bargain. But not only is it a big bargain, but at the moment it's also a fabulous way of getting your hands on new stuff before other people. Now, it's lovely to see Elaine here. Elaine and I met over Zoom this week to encourage each other in our business, and Elaine is encouraging me, much needed, much to my son's amusement, to do a spring clean challenge in my craft room. Let's start with the craft room. The rest of the house can follow, but we'll start with the craft room. So starting on Monday, I am going to be doing a 28-day craft room spring clean challenge. I have got my list of things I'm going to be doing every day. I've got that up on my wall. So join me on social media. Look out on Facebook, on Instagram. No doubt be a blog post, something going up sometime soon over the next few days. But join me for my craft room spring clean challenge. And if your craft room needs a good old sort out and a spring clean, perhaps you'd like to join me. And yeah, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. So yeah, looking forward to that. And my craft room is certainly looking forward to that. As I say, that will start on Monday. It is actually 28 days. If you look at that, that looks longer than 28 days, but I've given myself Sundays off. Yeah, even a craft room challenge needs a bit of a day off every now and then. So I haven't listed anything for Sundays, but there's something for every other day. And some of them are just quite small things that might take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Other things, slightly bigger challenges that might take me an hour or two. But yeah, that's the plan, that by the 12th of May, my craft room will look as sparkly and beautiful as it is possible for it to look, bearing in mind that I don't have wall-to-wall, beautiful coordinating furniture. It is all a mismatch, but I want to try and use it to its best advantage. So do join me for that. Right. So I think that's all of that exciting information. I'm going to bring in my downward facing screen. Let's remove that. Let's spotlight that. Now you can see that I've got a nice messy mat here. I said a while ago that I wasn't going to throw them away just to give you a clean mat, that in these days of trying to be a bit more eco-friendly, I was going to use it until I couldn't possibly use it anymore. So we did use it the other day for a bit of ink blending, and you can see where I've coloured with my stamping blends and it's come through. I've even got a measurement on there of 37.13. Can't tell you what that was for. It must have been something very important. But yes, so we're going to carry on using our messy mat. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be carrying on playing with retiring product. I think next week we shall start to swap to bundles, things that are carrying over, but you're no longer going to be able to get as a bundle. But for today, we're going to carry on playing with things that are on the last chance list. But we are going to coordinate that with a Tic Tac Toe challenge. Now, this Tic Tac Toe challenge has just gone up on my customer Facebook page, so my sort of VIP Facebook group rather than page. So if you are a customer of mine, if you're a member of my team, if you come along to my classes, all of those sorts of things, you are welcome to come and join the Me Crafty Ducks VIP Facebook group. And this Tic Tac Toe challenge has gone into there this week, so anybody can have a go, create a card with it, and post it in that group. It'd be lovely to see what other people make. But I did also say I was going to be using it for today's live. Quick slurp of water. So if you've never come across a Tic Tac Toe challenge before, it's a bit like a noughts and crosses grid. And a bit like a noughts and crosses grid, you want 3 in a row. So you want your little noughts or your crosses to line up 3 vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. So what you do is you look at that and you pick 3 elements, whether they're vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. So you could have an easel card with leaves and sequins. You could have a card with sequins, floral, and anniversary. You could have an easel card with monochrome and anniversary. So you can go any way across that. Obviously, you can use more than 3 of those elements if you want to. You might like to try the challenge of seeing if you can get everything in. Who knows? But you need to have at least the 3 in a row. So we are going to combine our Tic Tac Toe challenge today with some retired products. So let's have a look. Which row shall we go down first? I think I'm going to try... I think we'll go easel card. We'll go monochrome. I'm just scribbling this down on my sheet. And we'll go anniversary. So let's have a monochrome easel card for somebody's anniversary. Let's remove that for a moment. Let's get the right one. And let's come back here. Okay. So what have I grabbed? I've grabbed a few things. We might not use all of these. We might come back I've got the Daisy Lane stamp set. This has been around for quite a little while, and the large Daisy Punch is retiring. So both of those things are retiring. The medium Daisy Punch is staying, so the slightly smaller one, but the big one is going. So I grabbed those. I've grabbed the Always in My Heart stamp set and the floral heart dies that go with it, and I think we might use that in a minute for our monochrome anniversary card. And I've also grabbed the Very Versailles stamp, beautiful stamp set. I love this, but it's got this nice script on it. It's got these leaves on it. It's got an Always Thinking of You sentiment on there. So that's why I've grabbed that one. I am just going to double check. I'm sure that is retiring. I don't think I've imagined that. Let me just check the stamp index. Yes, it's not listed in the new catalogue. It is indeed retiring. I just have to check these days that I'm not having a senior moment. I have them fast and frequently. Right. So an easel card. I think it might be quite nice to have this gorgeous detailed heart on there somewhere. We've got a nice happy anniversary banner in there. Got a nice sort of banner die that we could put our happy anniversary in. There's lots of other fun little dies and pieces. Where did that go? Here it is. Got little dies, got this die border. Oh, this heart border, we might use that actually for our stopper piece. So we're going to do it in monochrome. What colour shall we go for? Think. I think I might go purples. So just because we're going monochrome doesn't mean it has to necessarily all be exactly the same colour. We can use different sort of shades of the same colour. So I think we're going to go purples. Let me grab some. I'm going to go slightly sort of mid-tone for my card base, and then I've got some fresh freesia there, got some gorgeous grape, we've got some Highland heather, and we've got Highland heather for our card base. Now I think I'm going to make a square easel card just because of the shape of that heart. So let's come in and let's have a little look how big that is. I think we'll go for a sort of 5-inch-ish. So I'm going to go 12.5 centimetres. So I'm going to cut this card at 12.5 centimetres. I've got a 12.5 centimetre strip, like that. Let's pop this to one side. We may use that in a minute. Then I'm going to swing this round, open up my trimmer. I'm going to cut it to, quick bit of maths, 12.5 times 2 is 25 centimetres. Let's cut that at 25 centimetres and let's score it at 12.5. There we have a square card base. Now I'm going to score this again. So to score this in half, it would be 6.25. So somewhere between 6.2, 6.3. give us our fold to fold that in and burnish that. Let's get out our bone folder with a good burnish, and then we have our basic easel just there. So then I think we will I'll grab another piece of Highland Heather. I'm going to cut this to 12.5 square. 12.5 that way, 12.5 that way. And that will form our front-facing panel on our card. Got a nice little strip just here. Let's have a look how wide that is. It's around about 2.5 centimetres, about an inch. Oh, we seem to have some feedback on there. Why are we getting feedback? Shouldn't be any sound on to give us any feedback. Oh, you've got sound now. That's okay then. Dear, oh dear. Okay. That was because I did knock it out. Let me move my mouse back out the way. And then, oh no, let's not until we've got the camera right. Now let's move our mouse out of the way. Okay. So a piece of washi tape. And to line that up across there, and we'll just pop some washi tape on to keep it in place. I'm just going to run that through my stamping cut and emboss machine. So here we go. Let's take this die off of here. And we've got this really beautiful little border with this stitching, with these hearts. You do also get all these really cute little hearts that pop out. Who knows, we might want some of those. We'll hang on to those just in case we do. Let me just gather those up and sprinkle them over to one side. So we have our easel card. We have our little piece that's going to act as a stopper. I'm going to die cut this heart to sit on the front. I'm going to go gorgeous grape with that, so we'll have a nice deep purple. Cue for a music quiz. So this die cuts so that we get this nice solid part, and then we get this beautiful heart sort of frame, which is rather scrummy. Just going to pop out these bits. Popping out rather beautifully. So I did just run that backwards and forwards twice. It's a very detailed die. You'd be asking a lot of your machine and your die to expect that to be perfect necessarily on one cut. They often are, but I like to give my machine the benefit of the doubt. Now we have our little heart. I'm actually going to take some fresh freesia, and I just want that inner heart piece in fresh freezer. So I'm just going to run my die machine through like that. I'm not worried that it's not as big as the entire die. So there we are, that will then sit in there. So to have a look, I've got here, oh sorry, knocking you. I've got the Dotty Hearts, a pair of embossing folders, and they are going to be retiring. One, where's the other? I think this is the one that I want. So I'm going to emboss. So this is just a standard embossing folder. It's not a 3D, but you get this one with the all over hearts, and then you get this one that's sort of in rows, which is equally pretty. But I'm just going to take the all over heart. I'm going to emboss this centerpiece. Let's put that where we want it on our cardstock. We'll put our cardstock where we want the pattern to meet. So for a standard embossing folder like this, it's a number 1 base plate and your 2 acrylic plates. So look at that, isn't that beautiful? It's a lovely little embossing folder. So we've embossed that in a heart. I'm just looking to see what of the subtlest DSP I've got left. I don't have enough to go on there, but I don't think I've got another piece. Ooh. Not quite. I don't think that's quite going to be big enough. To come on the bottom there. You can hear the birds dancing on the conservatory roof. I have got 2 pieces in fresh freezer, so let's go that route instead. So I'm going to cut some of these to 12 centimeters square. One. These paper packs are so useful because it does mean that You've always got paper in the right colour. You've got these packs in the background. Obviously, these particular patterns are going to be retiring. But there will be new patterns coming. And lots of opportunities to use up the ones that you haven't quite finished. Right, I've just cut a piece of gorgeous grape that is 2 centimetres, so slightly wider than that. So that will bring in some gorgeous grape on the bottom there. Starting to build this up, I'm going to get a gorgeous grape ink pad. And the happy anniversary stamp. And we will die cut one of these banners. So let's do that first in Highland Heather. This is a lovely little die because not only does it cut, but can you see those score lines, which means that you can also fold to create sort of 3D banner effect, but we want to get a stamp on there. So let's lay it flat again. And a H block, I think. Let's ink this up. And let's bring that along there. Beautiful. As long as you stick it, when you're careful, if you fold it flat and stick it down and then allow it to pop up, it will fold flat in your envelope. The other thing that we've got in here is these sort of floral dies. So you've got dies that will cut out stamped images, and then you've got more detailed ones. Sorry, that looks like my internet's gone a bit funky. So I'm going to die cut some flowers and some leaves. I think we'll go flowers in Highland Heather and some more leaves in gorgeous grape. I also picked out some of these pastel pearls because they are rather lovely. 3 little flowers, and then 4 little leaf elements. Let's get our glue out and start putting some sticking on this. I'm just wondering why we're getting feedback. There's a mat of paper on that front piece. A mat on this inner piece. I'm going to stick some glue on here because that way I won't over or underestimate where the glue needs to go on here. So let's just line those up. This is where wet glue is so useful. Let's give that a push, finish that. So there we have our card base with the patterned paper. Some glue on the bottom of our die cut border, and we'll add that to our gorgeous grape piece. And trim off those ends. I have no idea where we're getting feedback on this. Right, I'm going to take some dimensionals. And pop them on there. And we'll decide where we want that to sit in terms of how far up you want it to sit. And then we'll add in that piece just there to act as our stopper. It's a tad wonky on that edge. I'm just thinking about some ribbon. I think we'll take the gorgeous grape and we'll have a swirl of ribbon across the back there. Let's snip those with those ribbon scissors. I'm going to use some hair and tape just to attach this on the back here. We're going to put our heart over the top, so in the minute that will not be at all visible. I'm going to add Tombow to this. Come along, you were running beautifully just now. I hate it on lives when it's a bit sort of not quite coming out, because you know that at some point it's going to splurge. Stick that down directly. Oh, sorry, just knocked that out. Excuse me while I just play around with that. Is it going to let me back in? It does seem to be that we have so much technology issues at the moment. There we go. We're back. So with our central heart, I think I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals. And I'm just going to try. I don't know whether you can hear this feedback that I can hear. It's not massively loud, and it may just be local to me. But let me see if I can better that sound. Hopefully that's going to improve that sound a bit. Let me know if not, because the feedback was annoying me, even if it wasn't annoying you. Okay, let's pop some dimensionals on the back of here. Just tearing off those little bits. They look a little bit tatty on the back, but they're not going to show at all on the front. Let's bring in our banner. I'm going to bring in some glue dots. And I'm going to put a glue dot on this end
and a glue dot on this end. Good. Thank you, Elaine. To lift that slightly, what I want it to do is to be flat when it's stuck down. Let me just ease you slightly. So we'll get it flat, center it and push it down, and then this bit can lift up without it interfering with it going into your envelope. So there we have our happy anniversary piece on there. Let's just bring in a few extra flowers and leaves. There's that little bobbly bit just there. So we'll stick those on there. Let's have that Highland Heather flower. And some gorgeous grape leaves. Highland Heather flower. Gorgeous grape leaves. I think we'll have that. Oh, sorry, this is falling down again. Let's tuck that underneath there. So it's just peeping out from under that border piece. These leaves, excuse me, I want to tuck that underneath you. Thank you. And then we'll bring in some of our pastel pearls. And no, I think we're going to go for the darker ones. We'll have a few up here. And then I think we'll have some down there as well. So there we go. That's using quite a bit of retired stuff. So let me bring back in, if I can find it. There's our Tic Tac Toe. So we have got an easel card, monochrome, and anniversary. So that's coming diagonally down our Tic Tac Toe. So that one. And let's remove that for now. Bring this back in. You can never show things like easel cards very well on camera, can you? But there we go, there's your easel. You just need to pop a little bit of something on the back there to give you either on the back panel here or back panel there, or if you really want to on the bottom, just to give you somewhere to write your greeting. But there's a little monochrome card, easel card in purples. So let's come back to our tic-tac-toe and decide what we're going to do next. So I think quite like the idea of script and leaves. So we might come down this way. So come down vertically right down the middle, and perhaps we'll have leaves and monochrome and script. So I think for this one, our very Versailles set is going to be perfect because we have leaves, we have script. We just need to decide on our colour. And I think as it's leaves, let's go with something like some soft succulent. And just seeing if I can find, because I had it the other day. No, that's not what I want. Right, so soft succulent. I'm going to grab a piece of soft succulent cardstock, and I think that's the route we will go because that's a really nice, almost vintagey type green. Obviously, soft succulent isn't retiring. We've got that to play with for another year yet. It's beautiful alongside the other 2021 to 2023. I have to, it always confused me when I have to be thinking about 2 years along the way. So yes, the 2021 to 2023 in colours. I've also grabbed, now this is retiring, this is the In Colour Shimmer Vellum, which is beautiful because, as the name suggests, it's got a beautiful shimmer on it. So I think we'll use a little bit of that on our card. I might try and stick with one colour for this one. Let's see how far we get before we feel we need to bring something else in. So I'm going to cut this to a card base, 14.9. Scored at 10.5. I'm going to also cut another piece of soft succulent at 10 by 14.4. So it is a matte just going on the top in the same colour. I think what I might do with this though is I might take my scissors I'm just going to take my scissors and rough up the edge. Now you might have a tool that does this, but if not, just gives a bit of a vintagey edge. Don't use your ribbon scissors for this, and don't worry particularly if you get tears and things, because we are trying to distress it and make it look as if it's battered a bit. So we've got lots of fluff now. Let's get rid of a bit of fluff. I'm going to take this script stamp and the big, a nice big block for that, an E block, I think. Just have a look and make sure that that is the right way up. Let's grab soft succulent ink. Oh, lost a little bit of it sticky with being a well-loved stamp. Just take the back of my scissors and give that a good press as it's got ink on. I'll just remember to wipe my scissors before I use those again. Not worried too much about the fact that it's splattered on my background, because it is quite splattery anyway. Let's add in. So I've sort of gone in and out and in on that background. There's some script. Bring in the leaves. Let's pop that one off of there and bring this one in. We'll add in some leaves coming a couple of ways across there. So bring in a blender brush and some soft succulent ink, and I'm going to come in around the edge, and it just gives a bit of a sort of shading almost. Bringing it all the way around the edge. Then dark around that edge, particularly where you've roughed it up. That will pick up the ink as well. So now when we sit that on the card base, you're very definitely going to be able to see the difference between the back and the front. To take a piece of my vellum, I'm actually going to tear it top and bottom. Now you can see on this side where I'm tearing it towards me, I've got white edge. This side where I tore it away from me, the white edge is on the other side. So I'm just going to tear this top piece again, just so that I've got white edges, top and bottom. So we'll have a piece of that coming across the middle. This shimmer ribbon, this is one from the mini catalogue, and is actually one that is going to be carrying across to the new annual, so that's not retiring, but we will add in a bit of that for another sort of a texture. I will wrap that round in a minute. Let's have the always thinking of you. These sorts of cards in these sort of colourways always make quite good cards for sympathy cards, if you are unfortunate enough to need one of those. We do all need them at some point, sometimes. But they certainly don't have to be black. There's nothing wrong with. You just tend to choose slightly more muted shades. I think I'm going to stick with stamping onto soft succulent. I'm not going to bring in, I think white would be too stark. Now I think in keeping with our sort of vintagey, grungy bit, are we able to tear that side? Yes. We'll just tear both sides of that. So I'm going to bring in some tear and tape. Take my ribbon. Wrap that around the centre here and just stick it down on the back with some tear and tape just to keep that in place. I think we could do with a little bit more. Now I'm going to decide where I want this greeting panel. I might actually, before I put that on, I think I'm going to come around the edge of that with my blending brush too. Take a couple of bits off the edge of my dimensionals there because we don't ever want to waste any of them. And I run it along the top because that will then stick to the vellum. And of course what I am now doing is working out where I'm going to be able to add adhesive to my vellum without it being seen. So if I lay that across there and pop that centrally there, hopefully that is now stuck to my vellum. and I should be able to see that I can run along there and add a bit of glue in there, and that will then stick that vellum down without the adhesive showing. I could actually, as I've not cut it off, I could wrap it around the edge. In fact, I might do that rather than cut it off. I'll wrap it and stick it. You always have to be inventive with your vellum. And I think we'll add that with some dimensionals too. So let's say I'm not being particularly fussy with these, I'm just breaking bits off. Stick that on the front there. So we've got some different sort of textures going on there now. We've got our shiny satin ribbon, we've got our shimmery vellum that's been torn, we've got our torn edges. Last but not least, I'm going to take some basic pearls, add a few little pearls on, but because I want to stick to my colour palette, I've got my soft succulent. This is the dark soft succulent. And it's just coloured 5 of those. To build up the colour on those a little bit, if you just let them dry, you can go back in and add a bit more colour. But let's just pop some of those round and about. And I think we'll just pop one on there on our sentiment strip. So let's bring back in our Tic Tac Toe. So this one is leaves, monochrome and script. We've got on there. We've also added in a bit of thinking of you. So yeah, there's a little extra element in there. Let's remove that and come back down here. So there we have 2 cards using retired things or things that are retiring, your last chance items, and that Tic Tac Toe challenge. So I hope that you have enjoyed that. And I hope that eventually I will get these tech issues completely under control. Just when I seem to think I've got there, something gets in the way, like my webcam stops working. So we have to go back to finding alternatives. But thank you for joining me. I hopefully will be back in with a video on Monday, although it may not be completely live because I am going to a funeral on Monday morning. So Yes, but we'll be back with something hopefully on Monday. But in the meantime, have a fabulous weekend. Don't forget to go and check out all that last chance offerings on the website, on the shop. And here's my host code on the bottom there, my website, www.loveaduckie.co.uk. You'll find a link to the shop on there, and there's also the host code there. So if you're shopping with me in the month of April, that's the host code that you need to use. If it's not April 2022, then you'll find the current web host code on my website. But meanwhile, have a fabulous weekend. I hope the sun shines for you all, and I will see you all next week.